Okay, Wildcats, so everyone, turn on page 17, using intercepts. The x-intercept of a graph is the x-coordinate of the point where the graph intersects the x-axis. The y-coordinate of this point is always 0. The y-intercept of the graph is the y-coordinate of the point where the graph intersects the y-axis. The x-coordinate of this point is always 0. Now let's take a look at the first example. All right, example 1. An electronics manufacturer has 100 capacitors, and the same number of capacitors is needed for each circuit board made. The manufacturer uses the capacitors to make 25 circuit boards. Identify the intercepts, then use the intercepts to graph the line. The y-intercept is 100, which means that the manufacturer started with 100 capacitors. The x-intercept is 25, which means that when 25 boards have been made, there are 0 capacitors remaining. Okay, so the y-intercept is 0, 100. So we have a point here. There's your y-intercept. Okay, and then the x-intercept is 25. So, all right, so there's your x and y intercepts. And then there's your graph. Okay, this is your y-intercept. And this is your x-intercept. All right, go ahead and finish up example 1. All right, example 3. Find the x and y intercepts. Now, to find the x-intercept, we know the y value is 0. So we're going to plug 0 into the function. So that's 2x minus 4 times 0 equals negative 8. And we're going to solve for x. Okay? So, well, 4 times 0, or negative 4 times 0 is 0. So you're left with 2x equals negative 8. We're going to solve for x. So we're going to divide both sides by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. X equals negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. Okay, so the x-intercept is negative 4. All right, now the y-intercept is an x is 0, so that's 2 times 0 minus 4y equals negative 8. Well, 2 times 0 is 0, so you're left with negative 4y equals negative 8. Well, to solve for y, we're going to divide both sides by negative 4. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1. So you get y equals negative 8 divided by negative 4 is a positive 2. All right, go and finish up example 3. All right, let's take a look at example 4. Find the x and y intercepts. Now, to find the x-intercept, that's when y is 0. So we're going to plug 0 into the equation. So that's 10x plus 20 times 0 equals negative 40. And we're going to solve for x. Well, 20 times 0 is 0, so you're left with 10x equals negative 40. Divide both sides by 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1. So x equals negative 40 divided by 10 is negative 4. So the x-intercept is negative 4. Now to find the y-intercept, we're going to plug in x equals 0 into the equation. So that's 10 times 0 plus 20y equals negative 40. Well, 10 times 0 is 0, so you're left with 20y equals negative 40. Divide both sides by 20. 20 divided by 20 is 1, so you get y equals negative 40 divided by 20 is negative 2. And that's your y-intercept. All right, go ahead and finish up example 4. All right, let's take a look at example 5. Find the x and y intercepts. Well, to find the x-intercepts, that's y equals 0. So we're going to plug 0 in for y. So that's negative 14x plus 7 times 0 equals 28. Well, 7 times 0 is 0, so you're left with negative 14x equals 28. Divide both sides by negative 14. Negative 14 divided by negative 14 is 1. X equals 28 divided by negative 14 is negative 2. So your x-intercept is negative 2. All right, now to find the y-intercept, we're going to plug x equals 0 into the equation. So that's negative 14 times 0 plus 7y equals 28. Well, negative 14 times 0 is 0, so you're left with 7y equals 28. We're going to solve for y by dividing both sides by 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1. Y equals 4. So your y-intercept is 4. All right, go ahead and finish up example 5. All right, example 6. Find the x and y intercepts. All right, to find the x-intercept, y equals 0, so we can plug 0 in for y, so that's 1 divided by 5 times x plus 1/2 times 0 equals 10. Well, 1/2 times 0 is 0, so you're left with 1/5 x equals 10. Well, we're going to multiply both sides by 5. That's 5 divided by 5x equals 5 times 10 is 50. 5 divided by 5 is 1, so x equals 50. So your x-intercept is 50. All right, to find the y-intercept, we're going to plug x equals 0 into the equation, so that's 1/5 times 0 plus 1/2 y equals 10. Well, 1/5 times 0 is 0, so you have 1/2 y equals 10. We're going to multiply both sides by 2. 2 times 1/2 is 2 divided by 2y. 2 times 10 is 20. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so y equals 20 is your y-intercept. All right, go ahead and finish up example 6. All right, let's take a look at the next example. All right, example 7. A lake was stocked with 380 trout. Each year, the population decreases by 20. The population of the trout in the lake after x years is represented by the function f of x equals 380 minus 20x. Find the intercepts, then use the intercepts to graph the function. Complete the interpretation of the intercepts. Okay, so to find the x-intercept, we plug y equals 0. Now, when we say f of x equals 380 minus 20x, we can rewrite f of x as y. So we can write this as y equals 380 minus 20x. So to find the x-intercept, we're going to plug in 0 for y. So we're finding the x-intercept. Okay, so we're going to plug 0 in for y, so that's 0 equals 380 minus 20x. And we're going to solve for x. So we're going to subtract 380 from both sides. So you have negative 380. This becomes 0 equals negative 20x. We're going to divide both sides by negative 20. Negative 20 divided by negative 20 is 1. Negative 380 divided by negative 20 is a positive 19. So your x-intercept is 19. Okay, now to find the y-intercept, we know that that's when x equals 0. So we're going to plug in 0 for x. So that's y equals 380 minus 20 times 0. Well, 20 times 0 is 0, so y equals 380 is your y-intercept. Okay, so we're going to graph our points. 380 is approximately right here. So there's your y-intercept. And then 19 is your x-intercept. That's about right here. So we're going to draw our line. And then there's your graph. All right. So The x-intercepts mean that it takes 19 years for there to be no trout in the lake. The y-intercept represents the number of trout that were in the lake at the beginning of the population decrease. All right, go and finish up example 7. Excuse me. All right. The air temperature is negative 12 degrees Celsius at sunrise and rises 3 degrees Celsius every hour for several hours. The air temperature after x hours is represented by the function f of x equals 3x minus 12. Find the intercepts and use the intercepts to graph the function. Complete the interpretation of the intercepts. Okay? So, to find the x-intercept, we know that that's when y equals 0. So we're going to plug 0 in for f of x, because remember f of x, we can rewrite that as y equals 3x minus 12. So we have 0 equals 3x minus 12. We're going to solve for x, so we add 12 to both sides. 0 plus 12 is 12 equals 3x. That becomes 0. Divide both sides by 3. So our x-intercept is 4. All right. So now let's find the y-intercept. So when it's a y-intercept, it's when x equals 0. So we're going to plug in 0 for x. So that's y equals 3 times 0 minus 12. So y equals negative 12 is your y-intercept. Okay. Negative 12 is about right here. There's a line. All right. The x-intercept means that it takes 4 hours for the temperature to reach 0 degrees Celsius. The y-intercept represents the temperature at sunrise. All right, go and finish up example 8. All right, example 10. Use intercepts to graph the line described by the equation. So to graph this, we need to solve for y and put it in slope-intercept form. Okay, so we're going to divide everything by negative 4. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1. So you get y equals negative 2 divided by negative 4 reduces to be 1/2 x. 8 divided by negative 4 is minus 2. Now, our y-intercept is negative 2. So we have a y-intercept at 0, negative 2. And the slope tells we go up 1 to the right 2. So now they're counting by 2. So this would be up 1 to the right 2. And then we go up 1 to the right 2. There's our x-intercept. And then we go up 1 to the right 2. Up 1 to the right 2. Up 1 to the right 2. And then we draw a line. So our x-intercept is the point 4, 0. And our y-intercept is 0, negative 2. All right, go and finish up example 10. All right, example 11. Now, to graph this, we need to again solve for y. So we have 7y equals 5x plus 35. Okay, so we're going to divide everything by 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1, so you get y equals 5 divided by 7x plus 35 divided by 7 is 5. Now, the 5 is our y-intercept, so I'm going to start a point at 0, 5. That's between 4 and 6. Okay, now our slope tells us we go up 5 to the right 7. So we go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we draw a line. Now, we're about to talk about our x-intercept. Now, it looks like our x-intercept is negative 7, 0. To verify that, we know that our x-intercept is when y equals 0. So we're going to plug 0 in for y, so that 0 equals 5/7 x plus 5. And we're going to solve for x. We're going to subtract 5 from both sides. So you get negative 5 equals 5/7 x. Now we need to multiply everything by 7/5. Well, 7 times negative 5 is negative 35, and that's divided by 5. 5 times 7 is 35. X divided by 5 times 7 is 35. Negative 35 divided by 5 is negative 7, equals 35 divided by 5 is 1. So x equals negative 7 is our x-intercept. So that point is correct. And we know our y-intercept is 0, 5. Which we can write x equals negative 7 as negative 7, 0. All right, go ahead and finish up example 11. All right, let's take a look at the last example. So negative 4y equals 8x minus 32. All right, we're going to solve for y. So we're going to divide everything by negative 4. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1. You get y equals 8 divided by negative 4 is negative 2x. Negative 32 divided by negative 4 is plus 8. Okay, now the number in front of x is slope and slope is always a fraction, so we're going to divide this by 1. Our y-intercept is 8, so we have a point there. Okay, now from here, so we go down 2 to the right 1. Now they're counting by 2, so we go down 2 to the right 1, 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 down 2 to the right 1. And there's our graph. Now, it looks like our x-intercept is 4, 0. Let's verify that. We know that if it's an x-intercept, y equals 0. So we're going to plug in 0 for y. So that's 0 equals negative 2x plus 8. We're going to solve for x. We subtract 8 from both sides. Get negative 8 equals negative 2x. Divide both sides by negative 2. Negative 8 divided by negative 2 is positive 4. That's 1. So x verifies that 4 is correct. So your x-intercept is 4, 0. Okay, and then our y-intercept is 0, 8. All right, go ahead and finish up your notes and examples and start working on the HRW assignment and have a wonderful Wildcat day.